Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman? Katie, bar the door. It's a Pier 6 brawl.
It's the nuts and bolts of Monday Night Raw.
Well, let me tell you something, brothers. We got a Pier 6 brawl to break off the evening of Monday Night Raw. Whew. I'm blown up, brothers. I gotta sit back. I gotta relax a little bit. That intro, man, it blew me up. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. I'll tell you what, though, Monday Night Raw started off hot with the announcement of, just wait, we had a big brawl, a Katie bar the door brawl between Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman to kick off Monday Night Raw, resulting in a fatal four-way. That's right, for those three plus one Universal Champion Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. It's happening. Fatal four-way. No disqualification. The four top guys on Monday Night Raw taking place at SummerSlam. And this was the big moment of the night, and it started right at the beginning. Whew. What do you think's going to happen here, guys? I'll tell you what. I know what happened tonight. Braun Strowman wrecked the Monday Night Raw security guards. Angle called in the security guards, and Braun Strowman laid waste. He was throwing them around like rag dolls. I would hate to be those guys in the morning because they took some nasty spills. Whew. I tell you what, brothers, that was rough. What do you think's going to happen at SummerSlam between these four competitors? Is Brock Lesnar going to walk out the Universal Champion? I got to say, normally I would bet in his favor, but the odds are against him. We'll have to wait till it gets closer before you hear my prediction, but wow, that was crazy. Of course, I'm T Voeltz here for OneWrestling.com, and we're going over the nuts and bolts of Monday Night Raw, the July 24th edition, taking place from the Horizon Center in Washington, D.C. Now, the crowd most of the night, kind of off and on. Sometimes they were hot, sometimes they were not. Not the greatest crowd we've ever heard, but not the worst crowd we've ever heard by any means. And they were certainly given some reasons to cheer in that opening segment. What else do we got this week? Hey, the new issue of The Ear. That's right, the Cauliflower Alley newsletter. The Ear is out. I just got it in the mail. I cannot wait to hear all about this week's conventions. It's loaded with pictures. I see Tully Blanchard here, Jeannie Clark, Marshall Von Erich. Hey, Marshall Von Erich, how about that? All kinds of good stuff in here. Jerry Briscoe talking to Jim Ross. That should be interesting. Lots to see here. Sabu I see here. Sergeant Slaughter. Can't wait to dig into the new issue of The Ear. Hey, are you a Cauliflower Alley supporter? You should be if you're in the wrestling business. Hey, look what else we got here this week. The brand new issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated just came out with none other than your Raw Universal Champion Brock Lesnar on the front cover. Just got this in the mail. Can't wait to dig into it. Looks like we got some great articles in here this month. Cannot wait to divulge into that. Some good stuff in here. Hey, enough about that stuff. That's got me in the mood for the Raw TV Top 10. And here it goes, as compiled by my staff, which is led up by none other than Superboy. And this is what we got this week. Of course, our Universal Champion is none other than the Beast, Brock Lesnar. Coming in at number 1, hot off the presses, Braun Strowman. That's right, he's all the way up to number 1. He won at Great Balls of Fire. Number 2, Samoa Joe. Number 3, Roman Reigns. Number 4, the King of the Cruisers, Neville. Number 5, none other than the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. Coming in at number 6, Bray Wyatt. Coming in at number 7, making waves week in and week out, Elias Sampson. At number 8, Finn Balor, who really has a rivalry growing with Bray Wyatt. And coming in at number 10, none other than the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. What do you think about that top 10? What do you think about the top 10 my staff compiled and I approved? Do you agree with that? Do you think you can do better? You can let us know right here in the comment box on OneWrestling.com on YouTube. Of course, you can always tweet us at OneWrestling on the Twitter, or you can tweet me personally. I'm at Travis Voeltz. That's right, at Travis Voeltz on the Twitter. Well, in other Raw news, we had Elias Sampson picking up another victory over Finn Balor. This was a no disqualification match, and that was good because Bray Wyatt came in, and that was enough of a disturbance for Elias Sampson to pick up the win. What do you guys think about Elias Sampson? I, for one, like this guy. His guitar playing aside, I think this guy is money. He's got a great look. He is easy to hate, which you kind of like. You like kind of a protagonist and antagonist when it comes to professional wrestling. At least I do. And Elias Sampson is playing that role quite well. He is easy to dislike. I tell you what, he's got a mean streak when it comes to his matches. So I like Elias Sampson. Watch for continued big things for him. But he picked up a big victory here. We got another matchup between Enzo and Big Cass. And it got ugly. Let me tell you what, he put an ugly beating on not only Enzo, but also on the Big Show, who came in to try to help. I'll tell you what, Big Show, minus his beard, is now 0-1. We also had Nia Jax picking up a victory over Emma. We had Bayley picking up a huge victory over Sasha Banks to become the #1 contender for Alexa Bliss's Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam. And this was the kind of match that Bayley needed. This was a solid in-ring match between two competitors who know each other quite well, Sasha Banks and Bayley. But this was a great match, and I'm glad they did it on Monday Night Raw. In other news, we saw Kurt Hawkins lose to none other than Jason Jordan. Where are we going with this? I'm interested to see. I hold a little bit of promise for Jason Jordan in this role, now revealed as Kurt Angle's son. Can you believe that? He, of course, has the athletic ability. Does he have the necessary charisma to really make it to the top of the WWE? More on where I see him going next later, but I don't know about this outfit. I was trying to understand what exactly was on his outfit of Jason Jordan. If you know what it was, please let me know. Anyways, he picked up a victory this week. Also, the Revival, that's right, the top guys, whom I consider the best current tag team in the WWE. The Revival picked up a huge victory over the other great tag team of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Two of the best teams in WWE, with the Revival being, I say, the #1 team. And this was a solid, hard-hitting matchup. And of course, the Hardy Boys got interfered in this match at the tail end, but that did not stop the Revival from walking out the victors. In our main event of the evening, it was the Shield reunion. Maybe, maybe not. That's what we were going to find out as Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins took on the Miz Taraj. And how about the Miz Taraj? This is really for a relatively new stable. They have a lot of cohesiveness. How about Curtis Axel? He's really taken to this Miz Taraj. He's changed his complete approach, his complete attire. The guy is looking sharp. And so is Bo Dallas. Remember when he would just have glimpses of that vicious streak? Well, I'll tell you what. Bo Dallas, of course, coming from a very famous wrestling family that includes Blackjack Mulligan, Mike Rotunda. This guy, BW, Barry Windham.
He comes from a long lineage of competitors in the squared circle. I love the Miz to Raj, but they were not strong enough tonight as they took on 2/3 of the former Shield members, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, as the teamwork of Rollins and Ambrose came back. It was like riding a bike, and they picked up a huge victory. This was a very good main event, and the crowd really got into it. Anyways, from here, we're talking about next week. Enough of tonight. This is in the past. Let's get to next week. We're going to see continued story between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Have you noticed that little by little, suddenly, they don't have the rivalry with other people like they had been? Could this mean that we're heading towards something between the two of them when it comes to when it comes to SummerSlam? Interesting. After all, without Roman Reigns, they're not the Shield. They are only two. From here, they also announced that Jason Jordan is going to be on Miz TV. Now, this is what I predict. I think something's going to happen on that Miz TV that is going to lead to an eventual Intercontinental Championship match between the champion, The Miz, and Jason Jordan. I think they're going to give this guy a lift up to the moon, if you know what I mean. Is Jason Jordan up to that kind of lift, if you will? I guess time will tell. Remember when The Rock first came around and he had that chia pet hairdo and they pushed him up to the upper tiers? They put him in big matches right away and the crowd turned on him. We could see the same thing happen with Jason Jordan. What do you think? I want to hear from you, either in the comment box here on YouTube or on the Twitter. Remember, I'm at Travis Voeltz. Now, the big matchup next week is going to be not a fatal four-way, but a triple threat between all of those contenders for Brock Lesnar's Universal Championship. Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman in a three-way dance next week on the Nuts and Bolts of Monday